Impossible Route, Season 2, Episode 2.
Route Impossible, Saison 2, Épisode 2.
We're in France, baby.
Here we are, hollow ground for cycling, climbing the gravel side of the Tourmalet. Our goal is to replicate stage 10 and 11 of the 1926 Tour de France, the longest in history with the toughest stage in history. Stage 10, it's called the Circle of Death. And it was called the Circle of Death because riders feared it, and close to 40% of the field dropped out. In 1926, Henry's de Grange, despite the derailleur being invented, insisted the riders ride on single cog bikes. The exact course is impossible since they paved all the key climbs, but since we're not running with just 2 gears, it's fair that we do a few extra miles and a few extra 1,000 feet of climbing. And we've added some savagely steep sections in order to recreate some of that sting.
Hey.
Insane hike-a-bike.
It's so hard, dude. Well, we've never really done any sort of race before. You up for a little playful action?
Totally. Oh.
If we do category 4s are 1 point, category 3s 2, category 2s 3, categories 1, 4, and then the HCs are 5 points. There's 26 classified climbs on day 1. You down?
Yep. Yeah, but you know, these epic stages would have to start at midnight, and in our case, we'll start at 3 a.m. and beyond. And because obviously we have 400 kilometers almost to do, they had gas-powered lanterns, which put out barely any light. And they would follow the car for the first hour just to be able to see where they're going. We're just gonna get a taste. This is like the Tour de France gravel sampler, where we get 2 of the middle stages when they did 18.
We are on pretty much spaceships compared to what they were riding. So I think that we can make up a lot of time. I think we can do this, and let's get it done.
Ce n'est pas impossible. It's not impossible.
All right.
Woo!
So now I went into this thinking all I wanted to do was beat Jeremiah. I wanted to beat him in a race. I wanted to race him straight up. Also, I wanted to do something new, right? But I took this very seriously. Now, we have a yellow jersey to give out on day 2. We hit the very first climb. I can't see anything. It's super dark, right? I'm sure it looks beautiful, but I have no idea. And I attack him, get up the road, boom, your boy wins, 1 point. But I burned a match to get that 1 point. And look, HC climbs are worth 5 points, and pretty much anything longer than 5 minutes, Jeremiah's gonna just ride away from it. So I gotta try to get all of the Cat 4s and maybe some of the Cat 3s under my belt to even have a chance.
All right, that hurt a little bit. Waking the legs up though, and it's gonna be a long day, so he's gonna pay for that on Pic du Midi.
It's still super dark, and we hit to the next one, and now Jeremiah is like actually trying to go for it. Because the first one I sort of caught him off guard. I don't know if he actually thought I was serious about racing or not. It definitely was. And so then we start going, and he actually tried to just drop me and pull away from me. Your boy's a sprinter, I guess.
Attack you. You're gonna pay for that.
Woo! I am going to be destroyed later. It's still super dark. We come to a third category 4 climb, and I could tell Jeremiah's not happy. He's the pro. What's happening here? And then so he actually sits on my wheel. Third different tactic he's chosen. So now he's trying to wait for me at the very top to come around and snipe me. What's going on, man? Should I be in the real Tour de France? Because I just hit 1,134 watts, came around him, boom, got myself another point.
Oh, there he goes again. Putting the spice down. He'll pay for that later. Okay. Third category 4 climb. Tyler sniped me on, but he doesn't even know what's coming. He is going to pay 1,000 times for this later.
So I'm on top of the moon. I'm beaming, I'm smiling, I'm so happy. I feel so great about myself. Knowing though, I am birding matches at a high rate. I mean, I'm an arsonist right now.
So we're playing this KOM game, but there's like 26 climbs on this thing if you include the category 4 climbs. So yeah, I don't think Tyler really realizes what we're in for. And I'm up for the game, but I also know I'm not gonna like completely destroy myself to try to get 1 point when we've got 18 hours left, maybe 17 hours left. So gonna save it, keep the powder dry.
Finally, the light starts to just come up. You can start to see where you are in the scenery. Our headlights die out, so it's good. So we're kind of riding in like pre-dawn, where it's definitely dark. Sunrise hasn't hit yet. You can't really see much, but it's not dangerous. On the Garmin, it pops up. Here's another one, Cat 4 climb, and it's steep.
Damn it.
And so we hit it, and I'm fatigued at this time, right? My legs are hurting, and at this moment, I'm starting to think this was a terrible idea to do this race thing. And I started thinking, maybe I'm gonna make a deal with him. Let's just not do this. And then he starts just ripping it. I mean, he is attacking so hard on this climb. To tell you how surreal this was to be, like, we're in this tiny little French road, over canopy trees, rolling hills, so dark. I mean, there were certain points where you're in the canopy trees, you can't see anything, it's pitch black. Our lights aren't working. And we are just on the gas. And he is going so hard, and he sort of gaps me for a little bit, and then I just dug so deep. I mean, I'm talking scraping the edges of the barrel, and I just claw back to him. It's so freaking steep. So we're doing 400, 500 watts, sustained effort. That was magical. Just racing full gas through the forest of South France in the dark with this
nice
amazing.
Work there, buddy.
That was it.
I think you got 5 points on me.
5 points.
And I'm getting a little nervous now. 5 points down. Just a sprint is not awake.
So now we roll into this small little village, which, let me tell you, because I don't understand as an American, everything I've ever seen is on movies of these little French towns. It all looks exactly the same in real life as it does in the movies. And I know that maybe sounds dumb, but it's almost like if you were going to try to recreate a French village for like an amusement park or a movie set, and you would want to make it look authentically French, you don't need to. You could go to any town in France, and they are so stereotypical France, it's unbelievable. The sounds, the sights, the textures, everything about it is everything I thought it was gonna be. Wow.
It's beautiful here, and it's really hard to describe until you get into these little villages and you see the old buildings like built right up on the curb, and old churches and kind of has that smell, the farm smell. But it's something to really experience at least once. I know you're getting excited, but I'm like thinking all these sprints, ooh, it's gonna really,
oh, I'm gonna die.
Really get us later.
Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
This is it for me.
But I mean, that's the thing about a race, you know, we're making the course appropriately tough to match the difficulty level that they faced. And so it's not the exact route, but since we're on the dirt, it'll replicate the difficulty level. The steepness will replicate the lack of gears and the intensity of going for some KOMs and sprints.
Pull on to now a Cat 3 climb. It's a little bit longer. It's 1,000 feet. And Jeremiah is obsessed. So he just starts drilling it. And I'm on his wheel and I can see on the profile, it tapers off a little bit. And then so I could probably out sprint him. But I mean, I was just doing 400 watts. My heart rate was 195. And we're 30 miles, 40 miles into this 200 and something mile ride. So like, this is a terrible idea. But I can't tell you how much I want to win this little dumb nothing competition. I snap, I crack, I fall off his wheel, and he rolls up the road just a little bit. Okay, he got me. He got me. Ow. I saw him slow down and I felt bad. And I was like, you know, he thinks that I'm done and like, that I'm just gonna concede these points to him. But there's still like 400 feet left to climb. Like the climb's not over. And so then I start like trucking back up to him. And then he was kind of like, well, what the heck? I slowed down. I'm like, yeah, I didn't tell you to slow down. And so then we get to the top. I launch a sprint, come around him.
Come on. Okay. So, you got me. So, that was pretty sneaky. Never take a deal. If he says you got it.
Okay, I didn't make a deal. I thought for sure.
All right, I slowed down. I slowed down. I was like, I'm gonna save some matches here.
And I felt bad.
I got a minute. It's all good.
I saw you slow down.
So that's 6 points.
7. That was a 2-pointer.
Is it 2-pointer? 7.
That was a Cat 3.
All right, so I got my work cut out for me. What's up, guys? You think I got this? See, I felt really good on that one, so I got some confidence. If my knee holds up, I think I'm gonna be good.
Okay, so was that fair? No, probably not. Do I feel bad? Yeah, kinda. But we're racing. It's all good because yeah, sure I have 7 points, but we're gonna hit HC after HC after HC, and I'm just working for that most combative jersey right now. I'm getting my TV time, looking like a hero before I look like a 0. And then now we hit this second Cat 3 climb. And this one is a special one in the tour. And so there's like paintings on the road and there's signs, you know, saying how long. It's definitely a tour climb.
Incredible to think all the greats 60 to 100 years ago raced up this. You can see the painting on the road. We are in legend territory, 250 meters. I'm pacing it. This one's a little more gradual. Gotta be smart, real smart. Stalking like a cat. And I got him on the, Col de Squiche, which is like the classic one from the Tour de France. I finally got a few points back. And man, if it wasn't fun, I'm not gonna lie, like riding long and steady is cool, but you kind of feel like you're just plodding along. And instead of plodding along, we were like cracking it. I mean, just racing and looking over your shoulder and the guy's coming up on you. And so yeah, we made it to a pretty cool little coffee shop.
I'm really lost for words. I mean, we've gotten to do some really amazing things and ride in some amazing places. And it's always so hard to try to find a new amazing place and top the next thing, and it's just this like escalator to friggin' space. But the fact that we're doing this race component thing is so much fun. It's very hard because so far, look, the route, it is hard, but I've always said this, is that the terrain is what makes it difficult. And so far, it's just been great road. So I'm sure we're going to get into some gnarly stuff later. But right now, we're not bushwhacking through cactus. We're not falling off cliffs. I mean, you know, so it's just like, it's fun. But we have such a huge day in store. We've been riding for almost 5 hours. This is our first time that we've stopped. We have been absolutely full basket of berries. And now I'm double fisting espresso and cafe Americano. Looking like, what is, this can't be real.
At this point, we haven't hit any gravel. It's been fun. Okay, I'll say that. Like, the ride hasn't really been hard. Yeah, we've hit a few climbs. We're going hard. We're burning matches, but it's just been fun. It's been amazing. All the other impossible routes they're not really fun in the moment. They're fun afterwards. They're fun when you look back on them, but it's type 2 fun. This is a type 1 fun. I'm enjoying myself. So then we cut back into the hills. It's just like village hill. It's just insane. Tight canopy trees, beautiful. So we hit another Cat 3 climb, and Jeremiah just puts it to me once more.
All right, just stay at the top, 500 meters.
I didn't even threaten him at all on that one. I'm really paying for a lot of those huge efforts I did before to get, you know, a single point. At this point, I'm still in the lead, but barely. I mean, this really changes the dynamic. Like, you're pacing for a 220-mile ride, like, out the window.
Yeah, absolutely. Max heart rate.
Yeah. I've hit like 195 several times.
I'm sure we're gonna pay for that later, 100%.
Yeah, but we've got a rest day.
That's true.
So.
And that's what the riders did. They raced for the KOMs. They had a KOM jersey, and they had 2 gears, so they were pushing at least as hard, if not harder.
We take a little wrong turn. We go through this woman's like house, basically. We're flying down these hills. I'm smiling from ear to ear. Again, fun, so much fun. Climb says another climb's coming up. It's a small one, it's only a 1-pointer, right? Category 4 climb. Disregarding any future me, other than I want future me to be wearing a yellow jersey. I want to flex on YouTube. I want this victory. I need this victory. And just,
So, climb number 9, short one, really steep finish, and VC got the sprint, so 1 point back. But I knew better than to waste all my matches on that.
I want to say at this point we're maybe 80 miles into the ride and really haven't hit any dirt. And so then I'm unsure of which way it goes, and Jeremiah just bolts to the right, tries to get a little jump start on me, and I'm like, oh, this sneaky son of a gun.
I saw it come up first. You know, I took the turn first and got a little jump, and I was extremely excited about this deep pitch, and took off and got a little lead, and Tyler's back there like, oh crap, you know, wasn't ready. And then he starts coming and coming and coming, and I kind of slipped out on a rock, and this dog came out, and I kind of lost rhythm. I almost had to clip out.
And it's a technical climb. It's not easy. I mean, it is very rocky, wet, but that is my jam, is really steep, technical, seated power type thing. And there's like the really steep side, it's probably 20% technical, and I,
Little dog interference. He's got vegan excuses, I got dog excuses, so it's all good. But I am waiting for the cold aspen, the tourmalet, and the pitted sword to make up my gap.
Now here's the thing though, is that the amount of effort that I'm doing to collect 1 point, because it was 2 segments, I had to just uncork it, and I get 1 point. Right? And so, you look, when we get to the bigger stuff, it's gonna be so difficult, but it doesn't matter. I gotta give myself a fighting chance. So I collected 2 points, so now we're 9-4, right? And so, the games will be played. Oh yes. Oh, also we're 7 hours in and about 9,000 feet of climbing.
On some of these small farm roads and gravel sections, is because it's a lot what the riders must have been encountering during the 1926 race. Patches of rough road, mud, and a whole variety of terrain, which is why they rode the big tires that you see in the vintage photos and had a spare tire over the shoulder. It was a very different race, where it's not if you flat, it was when you flat and how you dealt with it. And the best riders were also good at fixing their bikes quickly. They were very tenacious and would never give up.
Oh, no, it's not a diss. I only drink fizzy fizz. Oh, throw me a kiss. Belle Époque, oh, sweet Belle Époque, oh, la Belle Époque, Belle Époque.
You know, a big observation here for me is that in France, everything is so close together. So if you ride 10 miles in any direction, you're gonna run into a building, a house, a city, a village, people, cows, whatever the case. You can't really get out from anything. In America, you know, like in Montana, we would go 120 miles without seeing a fence post. So what was really cool is that you almost had unlimited access to water and food and coffee, especially coffee. So our bag system was pretty light. You know, I had 3 bottles, 1 in my pocket, I had a jacket, and I had a bar bag full of food. But for the most part, really, you could go self-supported with no bags. I mean, you could just go from cafe to cafe to cafe, like all the way across France. Red Bull? Oh, un Red Bull? I'm learning, bro. Crazy little village. Yeah, I mean, I guess because the buildings are so old, it's just everything is so historic and rich. I mean, this just is like Instagram gold. Like if you found something like that in America, this would be like a tourist attraction. We still have a long way to go. And the hardest bit of like the first 100 miles of this ride would be considered a easy recovery spin compared to what is in store for us.
Nice little Coke break, pee break. Now we're back on it.
We pick up with Jamie. Jamie's our guide. He's our man. He's housing us here in France. He's with Escape to the Pyrenees, so he knows all the history about the tour. So we asked him a few questions.
So what was the bikes they were riding?
So the bikes evolved fairly quickly because it was a young sport. Early on, I mean, they were just terrible. You look at them in museums and you wouldn't want to ride it any distance on the flat.
I mean, there must have been horrendous crashes.
Oh my God. You know the story of Wim van Est on the Col d'Aubisque? First Dutchman to wear the yellow jersey. The next day, defending it, he crashes over the side of the Col d'Aubisque into the ravine, fell 70 meters with no other way of trying to rescue him. His team take all of their spare tubular tires, string them together, and they just about reach him. He loops one under his arms, kind of like a helicopter sling, I suppose, and they pull him back up to safety. In doing so, they ruin all of their spare tires, and the team has to pull out of the race. But he was okay. And it made him something of a star.
So we cut through this little town and now we are past the first half, the easy half. 100 miles, 9,000 feet of climbing, sprinting our faces off all the time. Okay, cool. But at this point, not an impossible route. If we had to do this again, that's just a big ride. It's nowhere near impossible. What makes an impossible route? Well, if we ended right now, it would be absolutely epic and you would be happy and like love bikes and you would want to ride tomorrow and yada, yada, yada. But that doesn't really spur personal growth. You got to get really, really, really uncomfortable to force yourself into permanent growth. And this is that moment. We've been here before, I know, and it's like, how are we gonna do this? You start doing the math and you're like, okay, there's no way. Yeah. We might as well just quit because it's not possible. 8 miles, 4,300 feet. That is a disgusting looking profile. All right, so this one is for sure a 5-pointer, yeah?
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
We hit the dirty Abyss, Col d'Abyss. And so I routed it up this really crazy steep road that was like concrete.
Just to stay upright, you're doing hundreds of watts. I mean, you're just, all of your energy is, ugh. But the view off, and it just switchbacks up this thing. The view is so spectacular and it just gets better and better and better and better as you go up and up and up and up. And so you're like, ah, this hurts, this sucks. And then you look over and you go, whoa, cool. Ah, this sucks, whoa, cool. And so you just do that for 3,000 feet. I think the total climb was 4,500 feet. I should know what that is in meters. I'm not super Euro yet. It's a dream. I honestly think I'm gonna wake up and I'm just gonna like not be here. I don't even know what to say. This is freaking epic and I absolutely love it. And dude, there's something like, we've done so many routes that are just so hard. This one is fun. This one is fun.
Good news, my knees don't hurt when I walk. Looks like it got washed out. So here we go. And we're off.
So during impossible routes, there's always that moment where you go, oh, okay, I get it now. And this is that moment.
Tyler doesn't realize I paid those horse flies a little piece of my granola bar to go bite him, distract him while I take off the front. Yeah, at least another kilometer on foot.
Now I'm super out of water and there was this water fountain thing spewing from the world. I did not drink it because I was like, that's too much of a risk. I don't want to start pooping my pants at the end of this ride. Jeremiah took the risk, drank a bunch of it.
That's icy. That's icy.
We're just hiking on this hillside. So green, cows everywhere. Every cow has a bell. And I don't understand because it doesn't look like they're walking or moving, but they're ringing through the mountain and you can, the echo forever. It's just dong-a-long, dong-dong, dong-a-long. All of a sudden, these majestic horses coming down from the mountain, and I take this moment to just take it all in. And again, hit with this feeling, I wish there was a word for it, but just like awestruck in wanderlust. I don't know if those two words combined really, but that's what I would say, is that I'm awestruck in just being lost in the wonder of this world. The film crew is not with us because you can't, because there's no road. So I'm like trying to get some footage and trying to like, you know, be a cameraman and a filmmaker. Jeremiah, he's racing me. And so he just is like hiking his bike. And I'm, you know, I keep giving him more and more time because I'm filming and I want to get this one cool shot where he's just like, I'm stationary and he's just walking up the hill. So I'm like, conceded like a minute to him just right there. So then I yell up and I want him to get a shot of me coming up. And I say, Jeremiah, hey man, hit me with a shot. Turn around, just hold it. Acts like he doesn't hear me. Dude heard me. Okay, I'm getting it back, right? Karma, I kind of did a little douchey move on one of the climbs. All good, he's racing. I'm like, got my head on the handlebars. I'm pushing. At one point, I'm literally crawling while pushing the bike. That's how steep it was. And I'm trying to close a gap on him hiking. Both of us, hiking our bike and racing. And I'm going hard, I'm like closing on him. And it's so funny because we're racing, but we're hiking. And so then all of a sudden we get to the very top and now there's a road. Okay, we've been climbing for 2 hours. It all comes down to a matter of 100-foot little kicker section. And we both get on the bikes together and we're riding and I just like, I empty the tank and I go for it. Damn it. it was so close, like such a huge effort to come down to something so small. It's like, man, if I had gotten that 5 points, like I would have had such a huge gap that there would have been really no way for him to take that over. So it was important that he got it, but it was so like, I was sure I was not even gonna be close to him on a 4,500 foot climb, and for it to come down to that little bit, and then it descends down, I don't know, not very much, like 3-4 minutes. And then the Garmin pops up and says there's another one, but it's only 1 pointer. I take off and I go get it, and he said, I'm good, my job here is done. So like, he put in a very, very small effort and got 5 points. And I put in a huge effort and I got 1 point. Race smart. In America, you would get to this point and there'd be this huge gravel climb and 100 miles to the next town, where, okay, there's no way, there's no food, there's no water, you're smoked, you need a secret chest or a backpack full of food. Not here in France, because there's a cafe serving espressos and sandwiches and sodas just on the top of this mountain in the middle of nowhere. Okay, the language thing, big deal. Way bigger deal than I thought it would be. I guess I just assumed I could somehow communicate with people without language. Pointing at things, like it just doesn't convey anything. So it's so hard to communicate with people in France.
Sandwich, jambon et fromage. What would you like?
I can't read.
We had food up there, but it really, I was a little worried about Tyler. You know, there was like peanuts and Coke, and that was just about the extent of what we had available to work with.
So someone on Instagram made me this cheat sheet. Okay, thank you. On how to ask for vegan food. It's insane.
And the only thing vegan there was like some chips and a Coke. So I'm putting that down, but I can feel at this point that my energy reserves are low. Riding through just what is so unbelievably beautiful, huge valley, tunnels, insane. We cut off onto some dirt. The dirt here, hero dirt, because it's raining all the time. It's like always perfect, but it's not muddy. Another 1 pointer, and I give it everything. I actually felt way better than I thought. Like I thought once I pushed power out, I was gonna explode. I didn't. I actually did really, really good. I felt great and got myself another point. Yeah, boy, we are picking JB off with these 1 pointers. Yeah, he got the big one, okay, but I'm keeping my name in the game. We're staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. This just in. Wow. Back to you, Bob. And this is exactly what I envisioned, was just these little towns.
coming. This is one of his style. If he's got a sprint left, he'll use it. Yep.
I am undefeated on Cat 4 climbs. Your boy's a sprinter.
Another pea shooter climb. But I'm sorry, buddy. We're about to Tourmalet. And that's 5 points. So 4 points back. Liking the odds with the next 3 HC climbs coming up. Well, we had been riding for like 14 hours. I mean, we were pretty exhausted. And by the time we actually hit the big climb of the Tourmalet, and 15 like good hard efforts in, and then, you know, you hit this monster, one of the giants of the Pyrenees, what they call them, these horse category climbs. The main line of the Tourmalet climbs about 4,000 vertical feet, if I'm correct. And the gravel route of the Tourmalet, which is just to the south, you know, adds some gravel, some nice switchbacks, adds a little elevation, but not much. Then it patches up with the pavement for the top. And then we get up to the very peak. And from there, you've got to climb 3,000 vertical feet on something that basically just looks like it was chiseled out of a rock, like this ledge chiseled into the side of a rock, zigging and zagging into the clouds up toward Pic du Midi, which is this observatory. It's been there since like the late 1800s, I think.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
See, I know French, bro. I'm so French. Dude, I'm hurting so bad. I'm literally about to explode into pieces, but I don't want them to know. I am dying inside. I feel great. Okay, little context. When Jeremiah makes these routes, I don't look at them. I can't. If I know what I'm in store for, it cracks me mentally, it gives me issues, it makes me reserve energy, and it's not fun. Because here's the thing is, I have to do it anyway. So we hit this climb. It's gravel, it's beautiful, it's unbelievable. All these things that words can't express to you, you have to just be in it. So I'll tell you that it feels like you're in a movie and you're the main character. And that everything here was designed and created just for you to experience. Everything is perfect. These cold clouds would move in and it would just condense on your arms, and little pearls of moisture were chilling us, you know. Really, it was pretty cold. It wasn't quite raining, but it was just, we were completely drenched. And I knew if it was 50 degrees here and we're getting just soaked, then up there at 8,000 feet, it's gonna be a little dangerous. So we keep climbing and climbing and climbing. It's very cold. We're very high up. It's very late. All the varies. It's very, 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 very. I honestly can't even think about anything. Like, I want to talk to the camera. I want to tell you what's going on, but I don't know what's going on. I am a shell of a human. That 2 hours of sleep is catching up, man. 2 hours of sleep. The jet lag thing is so crazy. But so here's, like, doing the Tour de France, I think it's so fitting. Eddie Merckx said, it doesn't get any easier, you just go faster. And we always try to up it. And on this one, we had this race component, and so we're just burning matches. And, you know, if we didn't do that, if we just roll around, it's like, you know, maybe it's, I mean, it's still gonna be hard. It just doesn't, it's so hard, dude.
Buddy, let's go. Tyler was a little hurting and kind of hanging back, but he seemed okay. He wasn't really complaining about any problems, so I thought he was just finding his rhythm, and we're both tired. We had plenty of reason to be tired.
I'm out of everything. I have no water, no calories, and no motivation. I'm in a bad mental space. I'm in a bad mental space for the first time in 17 hours, because we've been riding since 3 in the morning.
And then the clouds would move right back in, and it was just pea soup. Like I couldn't see where the road was. But then I started up following the GPS, and then I saw these outlines of 4-legged animals, and I was like, what is that? It looked like cutouts in a children's book. You know, one was gray, one was a little darker, and there's these layers of these 4-legged silhouettes. And I get closer, and they're llamas.
Hey, chill.
It's foggy up here, and the vistas could be better, but that is spooky and epic. So this real final pitch was just evil, and I was like, climb all this way to get socked in by clouds, and it almost turned around because it was cold, freezing. I was pretty tentative about continuing. I want to continue, and we'll definitely be damn cold. So this one's getting long. And then just a brush of wind, and suddenly you could see these jagged fins in the distance, and it opened up to this golden silhouette of these shark fin peaks everywhere. You could see the top observatory that looked like a citadel sitting on a cloud. And I was like, what? And then I turned around, and you could see this dragon's back coming out of the clouds of the high Pyrenees. So amazing. I get goosebumps. I've never seen anything like it. I'll never forget it as long as I live. It was phenomenal. Sometimes it's not about the destination, but the journey. And this has put us in an incredible place. Wow. N'est-ce pas impossible? I'll never forget it as long as I live. It was phenomenal. But where's Tyler?
Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. Just llamas. There's just Tinas everywhere. I overreached. I pushed myself to the absolute limit. I wanted to do so well. I was doing so well. And that's the thing. Look, if you're not failing, you're not trying. It's so easy to not fail. Just don't do anything hard. This is the lowest I've ever been. Guess what time it is? It's 9:30 at night. Isn't that wild? This is another world up here. This is insane. I can't even begin to describe what I'm seeing.
I mean, he's persistent and he's mentally way tougher than he was a year ago, 2 years ago when we started this thing.
I've been riding so well, I actually set a new FTP on this ride of 366 watts. My Garmin said 5.06 watts per kilo. I hit a max watt sprint on this thing. Look, I'm riding phenomenal. And so then for this to just all be falling apart, I can see Jamie and Jeremiah. They are 60 vertical feet from me.
You know, I didn't see him or looking. I tried on the radio, nothing. I'm up there for a bit, freezing, just thinking, okay, let's get down. And I see him pushing and pushing. And
It's Tyler. Go Tyler! Well, this is absolutely the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life and something I'll never forget. I gotta get to the top. I gotta get to the top. Come on, just go, 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 go. The sun is setting. I'm 30 vertical feet from Jeremiah. I can almost touch him. And then the clouds roll in. And Jeremiah yells, turn around, go down. It's getting way too cold. We have to get off the mountain. I am 30 vertical feet from the top. And I have to turn around. I'm failing. Now, maybe you'll say, yeah, but you failed other impossible routes. It's not the same because Jeremiah got there. When we failed before, we failed together. And it was sort of just like a logistical thing, like, yeah, well, it's just not possible. We just can't do it. I failed something that was possible. Reaching that point. Literally within arm's reach. It was the lowest point I've ever experienced on a bike.
Hey, baby.
I don't need this. I don't need this.
Driver's side.
Will you turn off my Wahoo Garmin thing?
Turn it off. It's paused.
Okay. I'm done. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. I can't.
Why don't you come on inside?
Okay. All right. All right.
Either side.
This side. This side. This side. Sorry. You're good. I'm sorry, man.
Absolutely brutal with the race component. Then, Tyler's shutting down, and I mean, I had my low moments, and was definitely questioning the sanity of this ride. Finishing time for Lucien Boussy was 17 hours and 12 minutes, and we've exceeded that. We've definitely crushed ourselves.
Well, it was bound to happen one of these that. I mean, I should have not finished any of these, and this one, I'm really upset. I feel like I'm gonna cry, like I'm holding back tears. Really, I'm crying right now. Fucking shit.
Sorry, man.
Fucking hell. God damn it. Sorry. God, I'm pretty emotional right now. God, that feels weird.
Can't put yourself in danger, and that's just the facts. And when you look at the idea is to push ourselves and to find our limit, and to inspire people to find their limit. and not to break themselves, not to destroy themselves, you know, and that's not the point. And if you gave your 100%, then that is enough. That's all you need to give. It's all you need to give. It's okay. It is totally okay.
Man, I'm frustrated.
It could have been me in a second, you know, it could have been me if I had, the knee pain kept getting worse and worse. And that's just how it is. And you'll be back. Come over.
Sorry, man.
You got it.
The good thing is we get another day. I get another day. This isn't the end. We still have to get all the way to the other side of France, through the Pyrenees. I can regroup, I can finish strong. And I have no doubt that I'm going to do that.
I'm having quite the bounce back. Last night was the lowest point I've ever had personally. I was crying. I was very upset with myself. It was rough last night. We are now going to embark on a day tomorrow that is harder than yesterday. More climbing, less miles. On paper.
On paper. I think it's going to be smoother. There'll be no insane question mark sections. And we get to start with a good downhill. I say we just take it and see how far we can make it and just roll with it.
We are going to make it to the east coast of France. We're going to ride all the way across through the Pyrenees. It's going to happen. How long it's going to take and how many excuses I make, that's up for discussion.
Good morning. So, jet lag and time and everything's an illusion. So I don't really know how long ago it was when I was crying on that mountaintop. But at that point, I was really upset that there's no way I'm gonna finish this project. We had our little rest day, regroup. I ate as much as I possibly could. And even going to bed, I was like, one of those things where you just have to let your body move through space. My mind is just filling with doubt and doubt and doubt, and I'm looking at the route we have today and it's harder than yesterday, and I'm just not even comprehending how this is possible. That's okay. Hey mind, do whatever you're gonna do, but my body is going to move through time and space, and then things will be done.
This is where we had Tyler freezing and had to load in the car on the gravel climb up to Pic du Midi. He was just frozen, and this is where we stopped, so this is where we're starting. You ready to finish this?
Yeah, but that means that our next ride is significantly longer with lots of climbing. So on paper, it is less miles, more climbing. 150 miles, 22,000 feet of climbing. I don't even know what to say about that, but we're gonna start with a huge descent. We just connected exactly where we stopped on day one. So there is no break in chain of the route from West Coast to East Coast. Now that's really cool, but we have 40 miles and lots of thousands of feet of climbing before we even get to the start of stage 2 for the day. Coming out of our rest day, a lot of questions. I'm coming off of the lowest point I've ever been in my personal growth journey. I was confident that if I could do my rest day right, I could bounce back to 100% for stage 2.
And we picked up the competition as before, and a rider who had been cut or dropped out the day before can continue and try for stage wins. And I was like, all right, well, let's still race.
And Jeremiah's only up in the yellow by 1 point. Now, what we decided to do was, instead of racing every single climb on the course, we were gonna just pick 3 big climbs to go after. That obviously favors Jeremiah because he's really good at the long stuff, but it doesn't matter. I am full gas racing. My goal is to take back this yellow jersey. And I start to sort of test out the legs a little bit. What was my recovery day like? How am I gonna bounce back?
But it was really interesting to see how that time and rest had him come to life. And I expected him to be blown out, but he was actually very strong, came back, and you can see why they had this gap day, or this, it wasn't even a rest day, because many riders were finishing at 2 a.m. and then they'd start again at 3 or 4 a.m.
I am back to 100%, if not better. I feel better now on this day than I did the other day. Tuesday night, I did not think I was gonna be smiling anymore for the rest of my life. I'm in the most competitive jersey, but guess who's in Impossible Route Yellow? Here he is, flexing. Okay, but only by 1 point. So we're not totally out of it. We could be riding into Perpignan in the yellow, but today's big, and so we're gonna not attack each other on every single climb. We're gonna pick 3, really pay attention to those. I'm only down by 1 point, bro. I can do this. I can make a comeback, I promise. We hit this absolutely insane descent, and Jeremiah probably knows the name of it. Look, I'm not really familiar with all the famous descents and climbs in this area, but it's a famous one, so I'm told.
Descending to Parasword, most amazing descent I've ever done. I think it's my favorite in the world. This is the right turn we made by accident.
Wow.
This is fate right here. I'm gonna get one of these baguettes. I'm gonna eat like get an espresso, get one of these sun hats.
This is so crazy.
Get air in one of these bags.
This is very, very special. Wrong turn, into a farmer's market, through this alleyway that's like the most French thing ever.
And we've got the snack stops of snack stops. There's gotta be 700 different vegan options here. Cheers. All right, we're not frozen. Life is good. I feel like I'm on like some vacation tour right now at this moment.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, okay, yesterday was real hard to find any sort of vegan food. I just have all this dried fruit. We have strawberries, mangoes, papaya, kiwi, apricot. Straight into the bag it goes. So I'm all about new experiences. I really like to try to just have every experience possible. And that right there, for me, was a really, really cool experience. I'm never gonna forget that. That's gonna be one of those, well, one time when I was riding through France in the Basque country, I stopped at a farmer's market. I mean, this is an amazing thing. And I'm so happy to have shared it with you, Jeremiah.
That was awesome. Just one of those things you can't script. It's just real. You pop through an alleyway after a wrong turn and you find a Disneyland of fruit and baked items and flowers everywhere. That's just what it's about.
Okay, so we're having just a blast, right? And then we kind of realized we still haven't even finished day one. So we're way behind. We have a long way to ride. We've got 2 days to go 280 miles and 37,000 feet of climbing. So we kind of have to like put our head down and let's start rolling.
Let's go.
We hit this really big road climb, and it's not for points, but Jeremiah, he's testing me. He's testing to see where my legs are, to see how much of a threat I'm gonna pose to him on this day. So he starts ramping it up. For no reason, this isn't a race, but he starts 280, 300, 320, 350, and I'm on his wheel, and I have to prove to him that I am better than I was. I gotta play some mind games. So I'm not breathing hard. I'm just like, oh, it's no big deal. I'm out of the saddle, kind of dancing, internally blowing into pieces. Didn't drop me though. He didn't drop me. Note of interest. POI. Didn't drop me. And we're now done with day one. So ideally, we would have been here Tuesday night. But after riding all of what we just rode and starting at 3 in the morning, and like if we had not done that hike-a-bike section and we started at midnight, yeah, maybe.
All right, so here in Lunchon, classic finish for the Tour de France and also the finish of the Circle of Death. Bayonne to Lunchon from the ocean over all those mountains. Does it seem different now that you see it in real life?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, we did a slightly harder route, but whatever, doesn't matter. That's crazy that they were able to do that.
And you had 22 gears.
I had all the technology.
Yeah.
And then for them, they've already done a bunch before that.
Yeah.
So
10 days before that, or 9 days before that.
absolute certified badasses.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a bag full of dried kiwis, mangoes, strawberries, papayas. My legs are back, my lungs are back. I'm ready to roll, boys. So we are taking up this climb, and it's a big one. And look, again, okay, I won every Cat 4 climb there is. If it's short and if it's steep, if we're sprinting, you boys got it in hand. But Jeremiah has now learned all my tricks. He knows my weaknesses, so he starts just slowly grinding me on this climb, and he's just harder and harder and harder, and my heart rate's just going through the roof. But I'm feeling really good, I'm staying in there. And so he starts to gap me, he starts to put in a real big effort, and he gaps me about 5 seconds. And we turn onto the gravel, and I'm able to actually excel and get over this little section and close the gap on him. And then it was an all-out sprint to the top. So now if it was a road climb, he's getting me. But I'm back in the game. I just took this really big climb. So now I'm up 3 points. Jeremiah's a little upset, he's a little quiet, we shake hands, we bump fists, it's like, okay, I mean, we're racing, we're trying to have a good time and stuff like that, but Jeremiah definitely wants to win. We fly through this gravel section, it's just everything you could ever want it to be. We have now entered into Spain. So your boy's Mr. International, went from France to Spain. We're headed to Andorra. I did get a side puncture in the tire and we plugged it.
Tell you, remove your finger and 3, 2, 1. Now get it on its side, all the way up.
I don't understand what you're saying.
It's gotta go down. Jesus. Dude, what the hell? Have you used one of those before?
Dude, come on.
Is it leaking? Put it down all the way to the bottom. Should be good. Only thing we should have is a razor. So you gotta cut the excess so that you don't rub against the frame. But I think we'll keep an eye on it and probably be all right. Nice work, nice work.
So when we got down into Spain, we pull over to these guys that had bikes, and I don't know how to speak any language. I barely can speak English, can't speak French. Now I got to learn how to speak Spanish. And so I just say, like, I need scissors. So I just say, pss, 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 pss.
Sound effects. Patitas.
Petitas es pequeña, grande, pequeña, una pequeña. Tijeras pequeñas.
Those are our scissors, right? Oh, perfect, perfect. Hey.
¿Hasta dónde? ¿Viella?
Hasta donde? Andorra. Yeah. Vámonos.
Wow.
We're in Spain. That's insane. It's insane and insane. Insane in the brain in Spain. So this next part is probably one of the greatest personal moments of my life. We are climbing up this crazy climb in Spain. Like, how am I even here? It's hot. I take off my jersey. I got no shirt on. Now, yeah, am I Mr. Olympia? No, okay? My body, I'm really self-conscious of it. That's all good. There's just something about taking off my jersey, riding with like the bib straps down. Spanish air is soaking into my skin. And my vibe level through the roof. The smile internally is unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. This is insanity. There's really, I wish I was a wizard of words, but here's the thing, words fail at this point because no matter what I tell you, it won't give you a feeling. I can only just explain feelings, and I've never felt these feelings before. Like what this is, what this looks like, what this smells like, what it tastes like. It's just unlike anything I could have ever imagined this trip would be. Bikes did this. Second categorized climb. Now this one's road, and it's long. It's like 3,400 feet. This one is for all the marbles. This is it. If I win this one, it's over, it's done. If I don't, I have one more chance. My whole life has led to this one moment. This is it. Your boy's got no shirt. I'm feeling on top of the world. I feel so freaking good. It's unbelievable. And in this moment, I'm thinking, oh, I got this. Jeez. Dang it.
Whoa. Ouchie. Didn't think I'd be sprinting at the top of a HC climb, but he's getting faster. That was close.
I mean, I was doing 500 watts.
Nailing it at the top. That was amazing.
That was awesome, man.
Nice work.
God, what? That was fun.
Yeah,
That was so fun.
that was a good one. Good
We
ass
have-
kicker.
We have one more to finish off the day.
And what's that put us on points?
That puts you 2 points ahead.
You know, we both have families, and you know, there's only so much you can put in a video, but it is so very important that our support team at home stays happy and gets the acknowledgement. I mean, both our wives are just grinding. Oh, we got 20,000 feet of climbing. Cool. They've got 2 kids non-stop.
Non-stop working, bills, paperwork, laundry, dishes, food. Yeah, it's huge. And she's really supported me throughout my entire career as a racer. And you know, that's something that's robbed her of opportunities. So yeah, thinking about all the ways that we'll do some great things together when we get back.
Love you, babe.
Love you, Aaron.
We get to the backside of the Mountain Kingdom, and we hit the 3rd and final crazy points available climb. Very technical, very steep. Jeremiah knows that if he goes long, he has it. If he just puts an hour power down, like, there's no way I can beat him. And so he goes this time from over 2,000 vertical feet out. I mean, like a 5-mile attack. And he just starts to pull this gap on me. Now I have a long ways to go, so I try to settle in, I try to spin. And this is a moment for me physically that I am so very proud of. I've obviously rode really well on day 1. I've been at the lowest of lows at the end of day 1. I've been riding really well here on day 2, and my power is solid. And I'm not gonna crack. He's got such a gap, he's out of sight. So then I'm like, okay, well, he thinks I'm gone. So now I'm gonna do these huge surges when he can't see me to close the gap. So then I do that.
Oh boy, there he is. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Ah! He's trying to shark me, but I saw him coming. Not today.
And I close right up, and he looks back and he's like, oh crap, here he comes. So then he opens the gap again. And it was so frustrating because I was just on the absolute limit. And I'm just out of reach of Jeremiah. And then we turn onto like a little bit of a flatter section. And I mean, I wish I could have gone any harder, but I literally emptied the tank.
What a climb. Getting long in the tooth, but holy cow, this dirt road and that climb, just beautiful, beautiful additions. Can't believe this road is just amazing. Perfectly smooth dirt, and through the pine trees, you can hear the whistle of the wind through the pine trees.
But I want to bring this back to something in that Jeremiah in episode 0, Hawaii, was bored. He was waiting for me. He's like, oh my God, this guy, come on, let's go. You know, he just had to leave me. He got fully dressed and changed and came back to get me while I was laying on the ground. So to compare that sort of level of disparity in fitness to now, and so for me, that felt like, wow, what a crazy journey this has been. Like I'm bummed I didn't win. I wanted to win. Obviously, I'm competitive, but I love this. So now, the stage 2, we have broken into 2 pieces. But since the 1926 guys, they finished that stage, we didn't give ourselves another rest day. We just jumped right on the bike immediately after this day and headed towards the coast, which starts with 9,000 feet of climbing in 40 miles.
We are in Andorra la Vella, the main city in Andorra. And it's like a little Las Vegas. It's really a strange and unique place. And I need to shift gears. Literally need to shift gears because everything here is like straight up or straight down. 125 miles today, but it is gotta have a crux, of course, if it's an impossible route. So we have this 4,700 foot climb in 10 miles. Climb up past the pine trees and up over tree line into the Alpine zone, where I hope we'll get to see one of the best views the entire ride. And then we make our way toward the coast, where I'll be looking forward to jumping into the ocean.
Also, you can see he's back in yellow. And I'm just in regular team kit. I gave it my all, I'm proud with my effort. But he gets to parade into Perpignan, where maybe we can have a sprint to the final, but other than that, I think the competition has come to a conclusion, and surprise, surprise, Cheb is the winner. So we get to the pinnacle of this trip where we're gonna climb over the highest point in Andorra. It's gravel, it's like a ski resort. This is gonna be really difficult. Now, the jersey thing is done, Jeremiah's in yellow, cool. We're gonna have one final sprint at the very end, but for right now, look, we're just trying to get to the coast.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
We make it to the top. We're at the highest point of Andorra, looking over this site that in my wildest dreams, I would have never imagined myself in this point with this person doing these things. And like, I don't want to be all hyper motivational. You start something not knowing where it's going to take you. Like, I started the YouTube channel for I was just bored and I didn't know what to do and I had no money and I sucked. And you just keep grinding. You keep doing something. You just put one foot in front of the other and you don't really know what it's going to lead to. But if you just keep doing that, if you trust in the process, all of a sudden you're on a mountaintop with a 2-time national mountain bike champion in Andorra. But it's short-lived. And that's what's really weird about these experiences. You do all this work to get to this point and we maybe spent 3 minutes and it's like, we gotta go.
Oh yeah, you got it. I can smell the champagne. No crashing allowed. It's like a double black diamond ski slope. That was so sketchy. It looks like we made it back down to the bottom and back on a good route. Never underestimate the value of adversity. Adversity is something you don't want. Adversity is not something you ask for. I mean, hell, adversity is not always something you wish on your enemy. But adversity, to those with a mind that has been trained, is a gift. It's a gift to find resolve, to have purpose, to overcome, to creatively fix the bike, to find the route, to make things happen you otherwise thought you could not make happen. And I think it's a magical thing. It's a magical thing. It's not about the equipment, it's about just making it happen.
Don't wanna be a one-man woman. Got me stranded like a boat in the sand. Just the thought of not spreading my wings drives me crazy.
So there's always these parts in these trips where you're over the crest, you're over the hard, everything difficult, all the unknowns, all of the questions that are behind you, like a tailwind of motivation driving you forward to the finish line.
Oh, I can sing, I can dance, I can learn the smooth moves. I would do anything you ask me to do. Jump out on the stage, get locked up in a cage, director. Glitter and it's such a glamour world.
This experience has changed the way that I will think and behave for the rest of my life. And that is what experiences are destined to do, is to change how you interact with the world. I've never left America. I have now all of a sudden been in multiple countries, seeing all these crazy sights by bicycle, which is really the only way to experience a new land. You feel the elevation and the changes in temperature and the people, and just you connect with it in a way that is unbelievable. I know it's not about racing. I know the Impossible Route isn't a race, but since we're doing a Tour de France sort of, collab here, if you will, the racing component was a huge part of this. We had adventure, we had exploration, but we also had just absolutely turning yourself inside out. And just like they do racing into the final stage of the tour, me and Jeremiah go heads up on a final sprint into Perpignan.
Ce n'est pas impossible. It's not impossible. Nice work, man. Nice work. We did it! Oh. Woo! Yes!
Oh, man. Well, we have yellow jersey winner, Jeremiah Bishop.
Oh.
He absolutely crushed it. That was a life-altering experience for me. It was very hard, but I felt more connected to cycling during this one than maybe just bushwhacking and adventure. And it's all great, everything's great, but like we rode our bikes. We rode our bikes hard. We rode over a lot of these famous climbs. We sort of tried to embody what these crazy people did in 1926.
The legends of the sport, you know, and a lot of people don't understand how significant this element of cycling is and where the words come from and where so much of the history and pageantry for cycling originated. And if you want to learn the language of cycling, you need to learn a little bit of French.
French is hard for me,
yeah.
But that was an absolute incredible ride. I appreciate you getting me out of my comfort zone, experiencing the world. I'm Mr. International now. I've been to France, and then we rode into Spain, and then to Andorra, and the amount of climbing we did, it was...
And a nice sprint finish.
Yes.
Here you go, here you go. These are freshly picked up this lady's porch, so we have to be quick here. I mean, in the end, it was really difficult to say if we succeeded or failed, and I think it's a bit of both. We learned a lot of the history. We did understand a little bit more about the golden era of the Tour de France and what the riders experienced and went through. And I think in that regard, it was a big success.
So in closing, I think that for me on this one, I learned a little bit about expanding my horizons and having an experience that's beyond adventure, that's beyond bikes, that's beyond a personal thing. I experienced new culture and how other people live, and just, it broadened my horizons so very much. And I literally will act and behave and think differently after this one. I also am so very proud with my fitness on this one. I really felt like we raced, and and I think that we deserve some champagne. So.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Come on, get out!
I remember when we used to be in love, and we thought that nothing could ever keep us from partying, leaving this romance behind. But now you're gone, and all I have is time. And though you're not here anymore, I still think about you. 'Cause baby, I didn't forget you. Hey, no, I didn't forget you, baby. I know we drifted so far apart, and I know we both made a brand new start. I saw you walking and talking with another guy.
We're room 200. There's a dog in that room. Hello? Okay.
Are you sure you're 200?
The key